Hi learners and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to do a formula recap of class 7 maths, perimeter and area with some interesting logics, facts and tips and tricks all in one shot, which is perfect for a revision. So let's get started. First of all, perimeter is the distance around a closed figure, whereas area is the part of the plane occupied by the closed figure. So if I have a shape like this is an irregular shape. So whatever I have drawn with red, the length of that is the perimeter, whereas this inside, whatever I'm shading, or the area that is enclosed by this figure is the area. So if I have a proper figure like this, like a rectangle, then the length or the boundary is the perimeter, whereas the shaded region or the place occupied is the area. Forward, the volume occupied is the volume or the space occupied rather than just the part of the plane. Now let's get into the shapes. So first let's deal with the square. So a square, as you all know, is a shape like this. If I name it A, B, C, D, and one side as A, then all the sides become A. You can also name it S for side. I'll take it as A. And now, if I have to calculate the perimeter, it is 4 into side, or you can say 4 into A, or if I take it as S, 4 into S, because each side is A, and adding all of them, A plus A plus A plus A gives me the perimeter, which is nothing but 4 into A. So you can write it as 4 into side. Similarly, the area of the square is side into side, or A into A, or A square, or you can also write it as side square. Let's move forward. Rectangle. Now the perimeter of the rectangle, if I take it as ABCD again, then we know that in the rectangle, opposite sides are equal, whereas in square, all the sides are equal. Whereas in rectangle, the opposite sides are equal. So in this, if I take this length as A, then this will also be A. Similarly, AD as B, then BC will also be B. But talking in this aspect, I can call A as the length, whereas AD as the breadth, and BC also as the breadth of this rectangle. So the perimeter will be L plus B plus L plus B, or the total boundary area, the total boundary length. So that is nothing but the sum of all these measurements. So it is L plus B plus L plus B, which is equal to 2L plus 2B. Same variable. So 2L plus 2B. Now I can take 2 common outside and write it as 2 into L plus B. So this is nothing but 2 into length plus breadth. Similarly, the area of the rectangle is again length into breadth. In square, it was side into side, that is adjacent side into adjacent side. Whereas in rectangle, it's the same thing, but we know that the measurements are different. So it is L into B, or length into breadth. Now moving on to triangle. Now in triangle, say A, B, C. The triangle can be an equilateral triangle or isosceles triangle or even a right angle triangle. So in the area of a triangle, a general triangle, I can take this BC as base, whereas these are some other sides. I'll just call them sides. If I draw a perpendicular on base, or if I make a line that makes right angle with the base length, A, and I find this meeting point as D. If I call the meeting point as D and keep this length my base itself, this is D, then I can call AD as the altitude or altitude of the triangle. So altitude is the perpendicular length from the opposite vertex. I cannot draw a perpendicular from these points on the same line itself. The only vertex is the opposite one. So I'll draw a 90-degree. And this AD is also known as our height, or I can call this H. So the area of a triangle is half into the base into height. Sides AB and AC are not heights. This is a commonly made error that AB and AC are considered height, but only AD, or the perpendicular from opposite vertex, is the height. And so the area is half into base into height. Another point mentioned here is half into area of the parallelogram, which I'm going to show you soon. One more concept here is with a right angle triangle. So if I draw a right angle triangle, right angled at B, then I'll take my base as BC again. This is my base length. Whereas the opposite vertex is A. The perpendicular is AB side itself. This is the case where one of the side is the altitude, or is the perpendicular, or the height. That is in a right angle triangle. As you can see, A is the opposite vertex, and when I draw a right angle, I can form a side itself. So if I take this as height, and if these both measurements are given to you, then the area is nothing but half into BC into AB. Now let's see parallelogram. So area of the parallelogram is base into height. Now if I take a parallelogram ABCD, I can easily split it into two triangles like this. Triangle ABD, triangle ABD, and triangle BDC. Now we know that the area of a triangle is half into base into height. So here, this is the base of both the triangles, and I can draw perpendicular like this for this triangle and like this. So I have half into base into height, half into base into height. So the total area is the area covered. So area of the parallelogram is area of triangle ADB plus area of triangle BDC, which is half into base into height plus half into base into height, which is half plus half makes 1. So base into height. So this is how we derive the formula for area of parallelogram. And if you understand it this way, then it becomes very easy and there's no need to by heart formulas. Now moving on to circle. Now the perimeter of the circle is given a special name, that is circumference. And circumference of a circle is pi d. What is pi? Pi is actually a ratio. It is a ratio between circumference and the diameter. So C by D, or circumference by diameter, gives pi, and that is a constant value, which is 22 by 7 or which is 3.14. Now, usually in questions, they usually mention whether you should use 22 by 7 or 3.14, which makes it convenient to solve the question. If not, then you can see what is convenient, which I will show soon. So area, so we know that perimeter, or the circumference of circle, is pi d. That is just by simple transposition method. But perimeter can also be written as 2 pi r. This is very simple to understand, as circumference is equal to pi d, and we know that diameter is 2 times radius. So circumference is equal to 2 pi r. If the diameter is given to you, then you can directly substitute it as pi d. Now, moving on to the area. Area is pi r square. It is not pi r the whole square. It is pi into r, or pi r square, where r is the radius of the circle. You can say this as the radius of the circle, or OA is the radius of the circle. Now, as I had said, that you can sometimes use convenience to solve questions. If the radius is given as 7 centimeter, then If you have to find the circumference and it's not given whether you should use 22 by 7 or 3.14, then you know that the formula is 2 pi r as the circumference. So this is 2 into pi into 7. And pi can be either 22 by 7 or 3.14. If I take 22 by 7, then I can easily cancel 7 from numerator and denominator, which makes the calculation very simple. And I get 44 centimeter. But if I take 3.14, the calculation becomes very complicated. So it is wise that you use the values according to the question given. Now let us see some other units of conversion. This is very important, as in the question sometimes multiple values can be given but with different units. So you should read the question properly so that you can convert the units properly as well. So a small precaution that one must take. We know that 1 meter is 100 centimeter. But this is not true if it is area, and we have 1 meter square is not equal to 100 centimeter square. This is a wrong concept. What actually takes place is, if I say 1 meter is 100 centimeter, then 1 meter square is 1 meter into 1 meter, which is 100 centimeter into 100 centimeter, which is 1 with 4 zeros, 1000 centimeter square, which is 10,000 centimeter square. So 1 meter square is 10,000 centimeter square. Similarly, you can also devise the formulas for 1 centimeter square is equal to 100 millimeter square. A new unit is 1 hectare equal to 10,000 meter square. A small trick here is 1 meter square is 10,000 centimeter square. 1 hectare is also 10,000 meter square. So the same values but with different units. The only thing here is 1 centimeter square is 100 millimeter square. So that was the formula recap for class 7 maths, perimeter and area. I hope you liked the video. If you did, then do hit the like button, share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notifications for the latest updates and videos. Until then, keep learning and bye-bye.